feel like, the aggregate, we probably could have had a few more, is how I thought how well we played. We understand this team's going to come back and respond to the league champions for a reason. However, I love the fight in my team.
The burning question, the 7-man rotation on Friday. Is there any gas left in the tank specifically for Mike Okoro?
Yeah, I mean, Mike Okoro, we're talking about Friday. I'm talking about the last 8 weeks of Mike Okoro, and his will and his desire will have to carry the body through.
And what have you told your team of what to expect from the Lions today?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've done a good job in aggregate situations on this season. We're relatively experienced in them, with the EMBL and the trophy semi-finals. So, yeah, we have to try and make sure that we win the game in its entirety. We want to be winners on the day. And then after that, we understand how we can be successful against this team. We got to live and breathe it for another 40 minutes.
And finally, a trophy in the bag already, a silver medal in the EMBL, a trip to the O2 for this organization would mean what?
We got to win the game. We understand where we are. We understand the challenge in front of us, the opportunity in front of us. This is a hell of a ball club. Like I say, they're the league champions for a reason. But again, I love my team. And the fight, the desire, the commitment that we've shown, we got to make sure that we leave it out there for 40 minutes.
Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Well, Virtue Motors Arena is beginning to light up, and specifically for the Eagles, Mike Okoro, Money Mike Okoro, has answered the bell all season long, and on Friday night, he did not disappoint.
He definitely didn't disappoint, Drew. I mean, what the saying is big-time players step up in big-time performances, as we've seen all season long from Money Mike. Friday night was no different. 25 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. As you see him take away the golden ball here, will he get another one is the real question, but it starts here tonight. But as we've seen all year, Mike Okoro has been able to not only help this team in scoring, but also just give them that extra boost that they need when they really, really need it, and they depend on him. He's a very big player. He takes big shots, he makes big shots, and he's the biggest player on that Eagles team.
When I asked Mark Studel this, 7-man rotation, will there be enough gas in the tank for him?
Oh, I think so for sure. I mean, everybody's pumped up. Everybody's motivated for this game. Second leg of a semifinal with a trip to London. And what better opportunity than today?
Well, let's flip the script over to London Lions, to their superstar, Aaron Rye, Team of the Year, British Team of the Year. He got all the accolades this season, but 5 points on Friday night, that's not going to get it done.
Definitely not. And I'm very familiar with Aaron Rye, very good friend of mine. He's somebody that I know doesn't want to play bad. He doesn't want to perform badly. So he's a super competitor. He hasn't had the best stretch of games. Obviously, the 5 points on Friday didn't help. But this London Lions team really depends on him. He does a lot for them, not only offensively, but defensively. He rebounds the ball very well. He plays well in transition, and he gets others involved as well. So looking for a big-time performance from him tonight with much on the line.
Well, 2-11 on Friday night. What adjustments you want to see from him offensively quickly?
Just to get yourself going, just to get to the free throw line maybe, see the ball go through the rim. Again, you're on the road, you're not in your home environment, but he's somebody that plays aggressively and can do that very easily.
Well, let's take a look at the London Lions roster, rolling out the same starters that they rolled out on Friday night. You see there, they're stacked with talent. They have the depth. Will that depth pay dividends here tonight?
I think it possibly could. Honestly, we saw Coach go to a very small lineup to match the Eagles on Friday night. Didn't give Tanner Stuckman a lot of minutes, and he wants to match the Eagles. So we'll see. Interested to see how that depth plays out tonight.
Well, speaking of the Eagles, let's take a look at their roster. It's not enough names to fill up the graphic, but you see it there, a 7-man rotation. Silver Candé, the only player on that list that didn't get on the court on Friday. This team has really stepped up this season.
They really have. They're battle tested, and what's crazy about this group is they've been there before. They've obviously played in Europe, so they have experience playing in these type of games. And I think, like I spoke to you Friday night, that 7-man rotation actually helps the Eagles because they're able to get that continuity early in the game.
Well, I can barely hear you, Ron. That is the atmosphere here in Virtue Motors Arena. I don't know if it's coming through your televisions or not, but everyone knows that there is a trip to the O2 on the line, and everybody wants to be there.
It is the biggest game of the season for both teams, so much at stake. And again, it is getting loud in Virtue.
Well, who will join them Leicester Riders and Sheffield Sharks still going back and forth with each other there. So in 2 hours, we will have a date ready for you here. London Lions in the beautiful white strip. Newcastle Eagles, Will Neighbor getting the tip in the black strip. And although London won the tip, it falls to Pulliam, and Joshua Hibbert blocked by Hasanbegovic.
Wow, what a start, what a start.
Eagles coming out in the 2-3 zone. That zone gave them really problems on Friday.
Yeah, it did. You can see from the three-point percentages, the Lions didn't prevail in that category as we have a foul.
Well, a foul on the floor. Look like Eagles will remain in their 2-3 zone. But if you know Coach Bozes, you know he would have talked about that yesterday.
Oh, definitely. They've game planned for this game ever since Friday night. You could see it as the clock was winding down. The London Lions staff was already preparing for the next contest.
Here's Dallaire getting to his spot, finishing easily.
That's a great start there for Dallaire. Somebody that didn't play that well. Had 5 turnovers on Friday night, looking to see if he gets off to a good hot start.
Even got benched there a little bit early. Coach Bozes kept him there on the pine for a while. And the perfect response you want. Shot clock winding down here for Money Mike. 5 on the clock. Matched up against Hasanbegovic. Hangs, fouled by Peterson.
Yeah, that's a great take there by Money Mike. Manipulating that switch on Hasanbegovic, excuse me, and being able to draw that contact and get to the free throw line.
Well, I asked you the question earlier, will this young man have anything left in the tank? And I think by that first attack there, he kept mentioning in the post-game interview, the 0-2, the 0-2. This is a guy that's been doing his homework and been taught about the big stage there in London.
Definitely. I mean, we've already seen him on the big stage early in the season with the trophy final. He's somebody that hunts those moments. And again, no better opportunity.
Team of the year this year. Will he be the MVP? Those awards to be announced here in the next couple of days. He cashes in on both. Eagles lock things up. 6-point aggregate lead. You can see the aggregate score there on your right side. The game score here on your left. Peterson had himself a great game on Friday night.
Shot the ball very well.
They go inside. Hasanbegovic didn't realize he was wide open, and here comes Will Neighbor.
Yeah, and Will Neighbor, somebody who hasn't seen a lot of playing time here for the Eagles, but has taken the most in these last 2 games, and a big block to start.
Yeah, they go inside to Dallaire. He's 2 for 2. Great start for Dallaire, who was British Team of the Year.
Yeah, well-deserved as well. Again, if the Lions want to have a shot at cutting into this deficit, he's going to have a big performance.
Well, London's showing pressure. Again, being in this aggregate situation, if you're the Eagles, it's all about surviving those first 5 minutes because you know the team that's down is always going to come out aggressive.
Yeah, they're going to throw their best punch early, of course. But again, this Eagles team has seen this before.
Here's Neighbor. Got off to the right sweeping hook. On Friday night, steps in, goes back to the sweeping hook, this time too strong. Here's Rye.
And the Lions defense early has been tenacious. They're playing super hard, very physical with the Eagles, doing all they can to create a tough, difficult shot.
Great pass inside, turns it over. Eagles decide to slow things up. And on Friday night, Eagles did a great job of kind of slowing the game down, making it messy. London with a plethora of turnovers as Dallaire tips that one.
It's a big dot block there. Eagles not able to capitalize on the turnover.
Hasanbegovic on top of Warren Hibbert to get the party started.
Yeah, what a finish. Defense leading to offense there early for the Lions.
Lions up 4, down 2 on aggregate. Akaru unable to answer. Here's Brisker. Attacking wisely, tosses it back out. Dallaire skips it out to Hasanbegovic. Lets it fly from the top of the key. Doesn't fall. London with another opportunity. Peterson over the top.
Eagles able to come away with a defensive stop there.
And Mike Akaru, momentum is stopped there by Brisker. Not sure if it was intentional, but it was a great foul. He's making sure he's okay.
Yeah, it definitely was intentional. Just wanted to stop the transition right there. Not give the Eagles anything easy in transition.
All right, here's Pulliam. Sizes up Hagabegovic. Long. Flips it over.
It's a tough finish. Tough, good defense there again by the Lions.
Peterson from the corner, too strong. Another offensive rebound. This time it's stolen by Eagles. Micah Karu hangs. Doesn't finish, but here's Long. And the ball is tied up.
And so much tension here early. You can tell Micah Karu there, Cole Long trying to get Micah Karu his second bucket of the day. Unable to finish that layup and the jump ball resulting in a London Lions possession.
Here's Peterson. Lions with the 4-point lead still. Brisker, pocket pass to Hagabegovic. Nearly loses it. Dallaire. 7 on the clock. Peterson takes the bump. Count the bucket.
Big time finish there by Mr. Peterson, who had a fantastic performance Friday night, absorbing the contact. Micah Karu drawing, getting that foul called on him, and Peterson able to get to the free throw line for the and one.
Peterson with 18 big-time points on Friday night with an opportunity to give London the lead.
Yeah, and I think this is a big possession coming up here for the Eagles. They have to value the basketball here, take their time, get a good offensive look.
Ovisoko makes his first entrance into the game today. The blue collar, the captain, has really set the tone for the Lions this season. Peterson, unable to capitalize. Lions up by 6. Pulliam driving kick. And Dallaire's pushed in the back by James.
Yeah, that's a bad foul there by Christian James. Kind of minimal contact with the refs right on top of it. Easy call. Eagles have started out slow here. Drew, what's your thoughts?
Like I said, being in an aggregate situation is tough. If you're the team with the lead, you almost come out not to lose. Whereas you can see London, they're clearly down. They're coming out aggressive. As Soko stretches in and another and one opportunity for the Lions.
Yeah, that's a big move. The Lions are taking advantage of their mismatches. Obviously, Christian James just committed his first foul. As we take a look here, didn't want to foul here. Good, strong finish by Ovisoko.
Lions clearly looking to attack the interior defense of the Eagles, as they do have that size advantage.
Yeah, and if you're the Eagles here, you just got to stay the course. It's obviously early in this ball game, as Ovisoko is unable to come away with the and one. Good possessions. Take care of the basketball and get a good look.
Well, the Lions 0 for 2 from the free throw line. 8-point lead here tonight. 2-point lead aggregate. Pulliam stolen by Soko. And Aaron Wright nearly loses it. Dallaire stretches, 6 points for Dallaire on the evening. Timeout, Mark Studel and the Newcastle Eagles.
And the Lions have thrown their best punch here early. They've come out the gates with a lot of energy and have a 10-point lead to start this first quarter to show for it.
Well, London coming out extra aggressive. That #1 ranked defense in the league really showing his face here in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're playing so well on defense right now. They're forcing the Eagles to tough shots, to turnovers. And it's leading to the London Lions getting off to this early hot start.
What do you think Coach Bozich would have told this team yesterday at practice after that performance, lackluster, if I should use that word, on Friday?
I think you hit the nail right on the coffin. I mean, their performance on Friday night was just not enough. And I think the defensive mindset has to be the #1 thing that he was concerned about, and the defensive intensity, and they're showing it thus far early.
Well, you see the response from the Lions. What is the response you were expecting from the Eagles out of this timeout?
Just to relax, guys, relax. Honestly, it's a long game ahead of us, but let's just chip away right now and let's control what we can control and get a good shot off every single possession.
Well, Lions showing pressure again, looking to trap pull-in, escapes it. And Micah Carter just with the doctor order.
That's perfect, and that's something that the Eagles are going to need if they want to have a shot in this ball game. London has to do a better job off that press to locate Micah Carter because he is the danger factor for him.
And Aaron Rice steps out of bounds. Well, Aaron Rice was part of our star watch at the beginning. We talked about 5 points wasn't going to cut it. What's your observations of his starts thus far?
I mean, I think he's playing within the game. One thing about Aaron Rice, he's one to not force. He just lets the game come to him so naturally, and that's what he's doing so far. As the London Lions get another big-time stop.
Well, here's the Lions, and your man, just what we talked about, Aaron Rice, he sidesteps his way to the rim to get his first bucket of the night.
Right on cue, Drew, right on cue. But let's give credit right there to Obi Soko with the seal. He sealed in his man, which allowed Aaron Rice to take advantage and get downhill for that bucket.
Well, here's Long with the mismatch. Inside, goes to James, gets the layer in the air, takes the contact, and finishes it through.
As the time was expiring as well, what a big-time finish there by Christian James.
Rye looks to be in attack mode, nowhere to go. Lions go back inside. Eagles throwing a soft double. Soko showing patience and strength and an offensive foul.
That is what I call textbook. Great charge there taken by Christian James. Obi Soko with 2 back downs and the ability to know to take that charge.
It was after that second bump that you could see James starting to read and say, I'm taking this on the third one.
Definitely. He read it perfectly and got the charge from it.
Well, Lions lead 14-7 here in Virtue Motors Arena for the second leg of this SLB semifinal playoffs as James spins, loses it.
It's a good finish there. I mean, it's a good move there, by Christian James. Unfortunately, the Lions had different ideas about that turnover.
Here's Brisker. Holloway seeing his first action of the evening. A man well-traveled with a lot of experience. Great backdoor pass. Brisker hangs. Somehow back to Dallaire, and this time it's a blocking foul, and Will Neighbors clutching his knee. I think Mark Studel would have wanted a charge on that.
Yeah, and the Eagles just got called for a technical foul here. Maybe this will give some energy and some fire to the Eagles, but otherwise, the Lions will be at the free throw line because of it.
Well, Coach Studel showing his displeasure there. The refs having none of it. And Brisker will head to the line for 1. Brisker, 88% on the season, showing no signs there. Pushes the Lions' lead to 8, 2 aggregate. And that's the thing with the math. You got to be a mathematician during these aggregate. While you're in play, are you calculating the numbers?
I mean, I've never been in this situation, honestly, Drew. Even last week when we did the Manchester game, we were able to call the first leg. So I'm looking at the score as well, just like the players are. So it's a lot. It's a lot to add up very quickly.
Well, it's very simple. If you're Mark Studer, you're telling the Eagles, just focus on winning. If you win this game, the numbers game is irrelevant. And if you're Coach Bojic, you're just saying, don't try to win it all in one quarter. If
true.
you win every quarter by 2 points, you walk out of here with a 2-point win.
That is very true. I mean, you just simplified it for me, so I'll keep that in mind.
Well, here's Seneca. Great defense by Holloway. And Seneca Knight, who missed the entire month of April, talk about the revelation he's been to the Eagles since he's returned.
I think Seneca Knight has been brilliant since he's came back. His consistency and his ability to help this team in the scoring category has been monumentous.
Well, here's Knight. Gets to his spot where he loves that little fadeaway. Pulliam, shake and bake, crosses, finishes it. Trey Pulliam with the midi.
And that's not be remiss. That's good defense there by the Lions, but that's even better offense there by Trey Pulliam, knocking down that tough mid-range jump shot. But can the Eagles get a stop?
Here's Brisker, playing ball screen action with Dallaire, feeds him with the pocket pass, loses his footing, steps out of bounds, travel.
Yeah, that's the turnover there from the London Lions, unfortunately. Dallaire was on the wrong end of 5 turnovers on Friday night. As we take another peek here of the tough Trey Pulliam finish, left to right crossover, rises into his mid-range jump shot.
The shake and bake is just so nice.
Yeah, it's smooth. I think he has one of the smoothest games I've seen in a while.
Well, here's Pulliam looking to eat into that Lions 7-point lead as they go inside the Seneca Knight, who shoots over the top of Holloway.
Yeah, and I think Seneca Knight loves that matchup. Holloway obviously a couple inches shorter, and the Eagles are smart enough in attacking that.
Back inside the Soko. Fouled on the floor first before the block. And for Newcastle, the key is for them is to controlling their emotions. We've seen times this season where they can get over emotional in games. As we take a look here, I'm assuming that foul is called on Micah Carew.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's Micah Carew's second foul, which I think explains why he was so emotional in that moment. But needless to say, I mean, the Eagles are doing the best that they can with their depletion of their roster. And more importantly, right now, like we've always talked about, it's important to close out this quarter.
Soko misses the first.
Luckily for the Eagles, you didn't foul a great free throw shooter.
It'll be key to watch the minutes without Akaru. Played 39 minutes there on Friday. How will they fare with him in his absence?
Yeah, they're gonna have to figure out a game plan without Micah Carew, but also Coach Studer's gonna have a tough question of if he's gonna be able to want to put Micah Carew back on the floor with those 2 fouls.
Well, James fouled on the arm by Soko. And that will be Ovi's second foul. Let's take another look here. You can see it there. Just got his hand on James's elbow there.
Yeah, he didn't allow James to spot his landing spot, which is why that foul was warranted. And if I'm not mistaken, Ovi Soko also fouled out on Friday night as well, which is a big key loss for the London Lions.
Well, Ovi fouled out Friday, 6 points to go with it, as James buries the first. And Christian James, just talk about the mentality he's brought the Eagles this season.
Yeah, upon his arrival, he has been a playmaker that has been an extra support to the already good cast of Seneca Knight and Micah Karu. And he proves it night in and night out that he's also a very big talent in this league.
Well, Mark Studel said it's going to be a dogfight here tonight, and he got one of the biggest dogs in the league with James, as he's able to go 2 for 2 so far. Can he cash in on all 3? Lions lead by 2. Newcastle back up on aggregate. Here's Adebayo. Stuckman. Short.
And that's a big stop there by the Eagles. They're off to the races now.
Here's James, rises up, left wing, buries it. And Coach Moses calls for time, and I asked you the question, the minutes without a Karu, so far, Eagles up 5.
But that's what I mean. This team is so loaded, Drew. They have so many different pieces that can get going. Seneca Knight, Chris and James, Josh Ward, Hibbert, Trey Pulliam. It doesn't matter as long as you answer the call, and that's what they're doing at this very early stage of this game.
Just describe, as we take a look at a couple of these highlights, the environment in here tonight. Paint the picture for the audience, Ron.
Oh, man, I mean, it's the biggest game of everybody's life right now. That's how these players feel. Every shot matters. Every possession matters. That's why you see them celebrating and being so just happy about a bucket going in, because they know that each possession can be the knockout blow.
Well, to give the London Lions fans some confidence, down in Leicester, the Leicester Riders up by 20 points, overturning a 10-point aggregate deficit with 1:16 remaining in that one.
Wow, and that game's in overtime as well. That is big. That is big. If that does anything, it gives some life to the London Lions faithful. But I was not expecting that.
Wow, Leicester up 10 in overtime. Will we have the same drama here in Virtue Motors Arena?
I think we're due for it. It is our last time calling with each other here in this arena. It's only fitting.
Well, Newcastle showing pressure. Let's see if the Lions and Coach Moses can answer back from this Newcastle run. And Holloway's tripped up by Knight.
And I'm pretty sure that'll send Holloway to the free throw line. Not a smart foul if you're the Eagles there. You want to kind of see that shot clock out.
Yeah, I agree, Ron. You got the momentum. Fans rocking. The last thing you want to do is gift the Lions 2 points.
And also, it just goes back to the depth of the Eagles. We don't really have fouls to waste if you're the Eagles. You want to be very, very articulate about what fouls you want to give and what fouls you don't want to give.
Well, Holloway, another terrific free throw shooter from the Lions and a veteran with, if you look at his resume, has played everywhere across the globe.
And what a blessing that is. I'm sure he's enjoying it, and I'm sure he loves the city of London.
Well, Lions regain the lead here tonight, up 1. Micah Karu on the bench with 2 fouls. Newcastle Eagles handling it thus far. Here's Pulliam, sees a double, skips it out. Ward Hibbert, right wing, bang!
And that's exactly how the Eagles wanted to draw that up. Trey Pulliam with a great assist to see the double coming early. And the ability to find a wide open Josh Ward Hibbert for 3 is key.
Here's Adebayo, Peterson, Ward Hibbert, Defensive Team of the Year on the steal, steps around, is blocked by Adebayo.
What an effort there.
Pulliam calmly gets Eagles in their offense. James, 2 for 2 from that spot.
And Christian James seems like he is due a big game today. already 2 for 2 from the three-point line. That matches his total already from the game on Friday.
At the buzzer, and that's how things end here in Newcastle. Eagles strike first, 23-18, up 5 on the night, 11 on aggregate.
Get all the statistics out of the window. The Lions threw the first punch, Drew. They threw it, and they threw it hard. They got up 10 early, but you gotta give credit where credit is due to this Eagles team, and they fought through that first punch, and they had a fight back in them, and they have a 5-point lead at the end of the first quarter to show for it.
And that's been the impressive thing about this team. We've watched every game here this season, and it's times where they're dead and buried. They somehow, some way, always find a way.
Yeah, I think it's just the DNA and the makeup of this team. They have a bunch of guys who are very selfless and care, and just honestly doesn't care who has the shine. They just want to get the job done at the end of the day, and it shows.
Well, speaking of the job done, Lions with a lot of work to do here, but again, you're in this situation, you can't panic. It's a lot of ball game left.
And you can't, it's one of those situations, Drew, I feel you can't get too high and you can't get too low.
Well, great defense there by Rye as he got really high. Long takes the bump, finishes with the left hand.
It's a very crafty finish there by Cole Long, getting the big fella off his feet and being able to finish that left-hand layup.
Well, the London Lions league champs flamed out of the trophy competition and the cup. Will they be able to turn fortune here in the playoffs as Rye turns it over?
Yeah, and I don't see Aaron Rye really do that too much. He's very calm-natured, but it just goes to show how big and important this game is. He understands the value of the basketball there, and that's already 2 turnovers on Aaron Rye.
Well, you talk about rolling the dice. Coach Bozich rolling the dice with his captain, Ovi Soko, as he returns, because there's no tomorrow. There's no need to hold any aces in the back pocket here.
No, not at all. I think it's a very smart move because Tanner Stuckman just isn't getting it done right now, unfortunately. He's a great basketball player, but it's just not working out right now for him on the floor. So got to get your captain back in there and hope for some positive reinforcement.
Well, I'll bring you news from Leicester. That game is official. The Leicester Riders, some way, somehow dug out of a hole, and they are the first to punch their ticket to the O2 on Sunday. But who will it be here? If you're just joining us, 9:05 remaining here in the second quarter. Eagles up 25-18. Lions struck first, but the Eagles have answered back.
And congratulations to the Leicester Riders organization. Coach Paternoster, I'm sure will be happy about that as they get their trip to the O2 set.
Well, Dallaire wide open, and another foul on Soko, and that'll be his third.
Yeah, Ovi Soko has been doing this all half, He runs the floor well, and he's trying to get those deep early seals but unfortunately, it has not panned out, and he's just picked up his third foul.
And we see that often when you're a bigger, stronger guy, you have a mismatch, you over-aggressively try to get position because you get greedy, right, with the space.
Greedy is the perfect word to describe that. Honestly, you just want more and more and more, and at some point, you have to be smart about it.
Well, speaking of greedy, here's Long from the top of the key, and the Newcastle Eagles will take that.
Yeah, it seems like things are just getting worse and worse for the London Lions as this lead now stretches to 10 points for the Eagles.
Listen to the crowd roar.
And honestly, Drew, I'm overwhelmed right now because I'm enjoying so much of this game, but you got to give credit to the 7 players that the Eagles are throwing out there. They're just building momentum, building continuity, and this is without Money Mike on the floor.
That's a great point. Their top scorer, their money man, they're on the bench in the savings account, but other guys stepping up. But let's turn our attention to London, right? They haven't been in this situation before this season where they're in the pressure cooker. What do they need in order to get a response?
They just have to do what they've been doing all season. London Lions are a fantastic basketball team. They lead the SOB in second in pretty much every statistical category. And I think they have to go back to their DNA and their makeup and play the London-style basketball that they have been playing. Again, this game is so far from over. Like, no highs, no lows. You just got to go out there and perform and take it one possession at a time.
Well, the London Lions, with the best defense in the league, 76 points a game they're conceding. But with the Newcastle Eagles, it's a tough matchup because the London Lions, they have a plethora of fours, not a lot of guards, not a lot of electric guards, whereas Newcastle got a lot of individual scores.
Exactly, I know exactly what you mean. They have a lot of different pieces that can play a multitude of different positions. A lot of swingmen, a lot of 3s and 4s, but can be guards. And it gives the line fits.
Well, here's Holloway, rims out. Pulliam steps around, behind the back pass. Seneca Knight slams it through. Big time play.
What a lovely play. I haven't seen Trey Pulliam smile like that since he touched down to Newcastle, but he's having fun, and the Eagles are up 12 here early.
Wow. Here's Rye. Looking to attack, gets to the right hand, quiets the crowd.
Vintage Aaron Rye. I've been on the receiving end of that bump, and I've also seen it in the flesh from the broadcasting table, and he's a great player. What a finish.
Just an unorthodox player, matching up size, strength, and great footwork as Seneca Knight. I'm not too sure about that shot attempt there.
Yeah, I think emotions are getting the best of him right there. But again, Seneca Knight has proven that he can hit that shot. I mean, he hit one Friday night that was just as big. But I think you want to eat shot clock there. You want to make them play at your pace.
Well, Lions get their stop. Here's an opportunity here. Down 10 with 7:30 to go. As we mentioned, plenty of time. Right in attack mode. Over to Holloway, this time from the right corner. And again, 0 for 2 from beyond the arc.
And again, the Lions have not hit a three-point shot today. The shooting woes continue.
London Lions, 3 for 20 from beyond the arc on Friday night. Tonight, 0 for 4. Here's Ward Hibbert with the left hand, and that's a blocking foul on Soko, and that's his 4th.
That there is a recipe for disaster. Coach rolled the dice, and then he doubled down on rolling the dice, Drew, and he rolled it again, which is something that you know, if you're a gambler, you don't do that. And unfortunately, the captain has 4 fouls in the second quarter.
Wow, well, unfortunately for Bozic, he rolled a 7 and 11, and that means Ovi Soko will be headed to the bench, and I doubt we'll see him again until...
Third quarter?
Possibly.
Third quarter, you can maybe you roll it again, but who knows? A long game ahead of us, though.
Well, Ovi Soko played for London Lions a couple of years ago. Joined myself and the broadcasting team last year, did a fantastic job, and out of nowhere, decided to come back, and it's been great for the Lions so far this season.
Yeah, I'm sure he felt he had more in the tank, and it's paid dividend for this London Lions team this season.
Well, here's Rye. Talk about that strength. Gobbled up by James. Has a Begovic. Too strong.
Yeah, coach is furious. He's furious. As assistant coach Youngblood has to get in front of him. But he is furious right now. I think he wanted a goaltend there, and unfortunately did not get that call. And his emotions are running high.
Well, Ron, as I mentioned to you earlier, you can feel the emotions from the players, from the fans, but more importantly, the coaches. Take a look here. And that's the pressure of the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. But it's also, listen, Coach Snoodle got a technical foul earlier in the first quarter. So now we have a situation where both teams have gotten a technical foul. As we see, Christian James missed the first of the technical free throws. And it galvanized his troops. It got them going. And maybe that's the hope that the London Lions have right now with drawing that technical foul.
It's a chess game, isn't it?
It definitely is.
Eagles with an 11-point lead. 16 on aggregate as Pulliam skips out the money Mike. Wide open, but somehow Cole Long able to keep it alive. Dallaire ends up with it. Here's Ryan.
Yeah, Money Mike won't miss too many of those.
And Dallaire with the acrobatic attempt with nowhere to go. Right, blocked by James.
And a big-time block there by Christian James, which leads.
And Eagles turn it over. Just a little miscue there from James and Akaro. Pleading his case that he tipped it off of Brisker there.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mike, we're not in the NBA. We can't even have a review of that. But what a block there by Christian James. The defensive intensity by the Eagles right now. We alluded to the London Lions defensive intensity, but the Eagles have also brought it.
The Eagles holding the Lions to 20 points after 14 minutes. Here's Hazabegovic, nowhere to go, somehow finds Dallaire. And again, the shooting woes for the Lions continue.
Yeah, the Lions fans, I'm sure at home, are just hoping one of these shots will drop eventually. It's like a lids on the basket that just won't come off.
Well, here's a matchup that James is seething at the teeth for. They send a double. He's a great passer. They find Ward Hibbert in the left corner. And again, Long on the offensive glass.
That's a great rebound there by Cole Long, and even better offensive possession. Obviously, Christian James saw that he had a mismatch. We had Mr. Peterson come over to try to send some help. They were able to locate Pulliam in the middle, and he was able to find a wide open Joshua Hibbert. That's great team basketball.
Well, both teams doing a great job of finding shooters out of the double teams. Eagles so far the only team able to capitalize, 5 for 12 from beyond the arc here tonight, whilst the London Lions 0 for 5. Here's Micah Karu with the advantage, steps around. Great ball movement from the Eagles. Here's Pulliam, floats it off the glass and softly drops it in.
These soft traps are putting the London Lions in desperation positions where they're having to over-scramble, and it's leading to easy baskets for the Eagles.
Eagles lead by 13. Dallaire started off this game fantastic. Picks up another bucket there.
Big time shot there by Dallaire. I think if you're Cole Long there, you kind of want to close out short here with the shooting woes that the Lions have had. But needless, wow, holy
Pulliam able to put a little shake and bake in the skillet. How many times have we seen that?
I mean, I hope our team here shows this. Yes, thank you, please, for showing this.
Well, take a look at this play earlier here. Wow.
He's playing fantastic basketball as of late. He's been a big reason why this team has been able to flourish the way that they have. That last move he just has, splitting the defense behind the back.
Well, Trey Pulliam in the month of April averaged 17.8 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 6.9 assists, which had him in contention for Player of the Month. And it just took a little bit of patience, but we're really starting to see the value out of Pulliam.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with Trey Pulliam as well. Having known him from San Diego, or known of him from San Diego, I knew the type of player they were bringing in when they signed him, and I'm so happy to see that he's come to life here late.
Well, Pulliam picks up his first foul of the evening as he holds Brisker.
Yeah, and Brisker has to be careful here. One thing you don't want to do, even though emotions are high, is pick up an unnecessary technical foul. The coaches have already done the job for you.
Well, if you're the London Lions, you just want to get this thing into single figures before the half, and as if you talked about, alluded to the last couple of games, is finishing quarters. As a Begovic blocked by Long. Cole Long again. 5 blocks last week against Manchester.
And he's come to life on the defensive end here for the Eagles.
Here's James, skips it over Ward Hibbert. Up and under, nice finish.
That's a great pass and a great assist. There from Christian James to Josh Ward Hibbert.
Peterson again over the top. As a Begovic sees a crowd, unable to finish the bunny. However, he will head to the line where he hasn't been 42% on the season, but take a look at Cole Long. Talk about his underrated defense.
I mean, we've seen it here as of late. The game last week against Manchester, he was phenomenal. And I tuned in on Friday night to see his game against the Lions, and it's the same effort. He just brings it, the intensity on the defensive end for this group. He's also very tall. I don't think people realize how tall Cole Long is. About 6'7", long arms.
Has a Begovic, as I mentioned before, 48% from the line. However, on Friday night, was 5 for 6.
Yeah, and currently right now, the London Lions have missed at least 5 free throws, I'm pretty sure.
Well, 4 for 10 from the free throw line, 0 for 6 from downtown. Not what you drawn up if you're Bozic.
Yeah, it's not a recipe for a win on the road. Not here at Virtu, at least.
Shot clock winding down. Pulliam gets his mismatch with Hazabegovic. Again, shows double Long, gets him in the air, lets it go. And Seneca Knight with the offensive rebound. And he's fouled.
Yeah, and it just seems like the London Lions can't buy a call right now. They're searching for it. As we see number 24, Tanner Stuckman, check back into the game. They're not really sinking right now, and the Eagles are taking full advantage of it.
Well, Hazabegovic, with no fouls, it almost seems as he's being played out of this game. We talked about it earlier. The size differential between both teams, which seems to favor the Eagles thus far.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw his first playoff round against Surrey. He was the man of the match. He was the MVP. He played very well, double-double. But this type of team against the Eagles just doesn't suit his type of style. They play too fast. They have too many swingmen, too many guards that can give if this team fits.
Well, you look out there and you ask, who is he going to guard? Because Cole Long is a stretch four. Here's Dallaire, top of the key, left wide open, air ball. Wow.
And it just seems like the confidence from the three-point line is long gone for the Lions.
Well, James nearly with a fadeaway corner 3. Here's Brisker, his first look of the evening. Cashes it in, and that's more like it for the Lions.
Long gone, but it's found its way back in 5 seconds. What a big-time bucket there by Michael Brisker. And again, the London Lions just have to continue to chip away right now. I think they're swinging for the home run ball, possession after possession. And meanwhile, if you're the Eagles, you got to get back. You got to stay focused. You can't get ahead of yourself because just like that, tides can change. We saw it in the Sheffield game and Leicester earlier.
Well, there's your top scorers of the evening. Christian James, 11 points off the bench. It's all about the others for the Eagles as their superstar, Akaru, unable to get going. And then if you look for Lions, it's Dallaire, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, Aaron Rye still kind of kept quiet right now. He is kind of their engine, really and truly. He plays very hard and well for this group, but the Eagles have been able to kind of hold him to a minimum standard as of late.
Well, Mark Studel taking no chances there. Quickly calling for timeout. And if you're Lions, you got to somehow find a way to get more looks for Brisker. That's his first three-pointer of the night. You know, he shoots 40% from downtown. You got to find a way to get him more involved.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you go back to the January 31st meeting, Michael Brisker just, he doesn't really hunt his shot enough. We understand that he is the leading assist guy for this London Lions team with 6 assists on Friday night, but he has to be a bit more assertive and aggressive because they need him in the scoring department.
Well, when I analyzed this team earlier in the season, that was the one burning question for me for the Lions was the lack of that dynamic score. They have everything else, but as you know, the SLB is full of guards like a Karu that can light it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's one department that they're lacking in, but they've been able to overcome that with their defense, and they have to hang their hat on that if they want to get back in this ball game right now.
Well, finishing quarters, 3 minutes here, 12-point lead for the Eagles, 18 on aggregate. Here's Pulliam. This time matched up with Stuckman again. They sent a double. James strongholds his way to the rim, flips it up, somehow throws it behind the left shoulder and finishes it.
That is all strength. That is strength and good basketball skill because that is a difficult shot. As the shot clock is winding down once again.
Well, here's Brisker looking to go 2 for 2, and he's fouled by James.
As Christian James unfortunately picks up that foul, but that's the assertiveness that we need out of Brisker if you're the London Lions. Like, you need him to feel like he has to score the ball for this team to continue to stay in this game because nobody else is doing it right now for him.
88% on the season from the free throw line. And the thing to keep an eye on is the Eagles defense. It seems as though they're staying connected to Brisker, but everybody else, they're just really packing the paint.
You hit the nail on the coffin once again. They are loading up that paint right now. I think to just draw the London Lions closer to that basket and have some help, but they also know that the Lions are going through shooting woes right now as the Lions missed their 7th free throw of the contest.
The London Lions on the season, last in free throw percentage, 68%. They get there more than anybody else, but unable to finish it. Pulliam blows by Stuckman, but great defense by Tanner.
Yeah, great defense by Tanner Stuckman and being able to move his feet without fouling.
Here's Peterson. Dallaire with the mismatch, steps over Pulliam and draws the blocking foul. And that'll be Pulliam's second. If I'm a fan at home, talk to us, Ron, of how this is different from the Christian James charge.
Yeah, it's a lot different because Pulliam really wasn't positioned there. Kind of a tricky question. Pulliam really wasn't positioned there, and he was moving slightly, and I think the refs kind of noticed that. Threw me off with that one, Jerome.
Hey, man, I'm here to make you better, man.
Threw me off with that.
I'm here to push. It's the last home game of the season, our last game. It's been a ball here calling the games here at Virtue this season. You know, I gotta let you go into the off season with a game plan with some things to work on.
That is true, Will. I'm working on that as we speak, but again, that's a blocking foul for those who don't know.
Well, again, the London Lions shooting from the free throw line and three-point line specifically is really costing them here in the first half in Newcastle.
Yeah, as Dallaire's having a good time, a big time performance here early, but he definitely wishes he had 2 of 2.
Here's Pulliam, again, gets his mismatch. They throw another double. James steps back over Dallaire. Great defense by Dallaire.
Great defense. Like to see Christian James more so attack that.
And a great cut by Dallaire. Dallaire, the bright spot for the Lions here this evening with 11 first half points.
And it's all about closing quarters, Drew. We're approaching a minute to play. Back-to-back possessions.
Well, speaking of that, Lions with an opportunity here with 1 minute to go. They get their stop, and hopefully a much-needed bucket as Aaron Rye again.
And let's see how much time the Eagles want to take off the clock here. They have to be patient as the time is in their favor.
Pulliam in attack mode gets downhill and fouled by Peterson. And that's how the Newcastle Eagles small lineup runs bigger guys off the floor, because that's consecutive possessions where you got Stuckman matched up with one of the shiftiest guys in the league.
Yeah, and then the question is, that I'm sure people are asking is, how does Tanner Stuckman or Hazabegovic continue to find themselves on these perimeters? Well, you have somebody like Cole Long that's going to come and set the ball screen, and he can shoot the three very well. And those guards are just switching, and it's allowing for Trey Pulliam to take advantage.
Well, that's the new age defense now, the schemes. Most teams are switching those actions, but those are the consequences there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you're leaving somebody like Tanner Stuckman, who really probably isn't too used to guarding guards. Obviously, he can guard guards here and there, but having to do it possession after possession is just wearing on this Lions team.
Well, Pulliam able to answer back, and the Newcastle Eagles will get one more shot at it offensively. Let's see what the Lions do with their final offensive possession of the half. Peterson with 18 points there, and what they do, turn it over, as this time it's Stuckman draws an offensive foul on who else?
Josh Ward-Hibbert, the Swiss Army Knight himself, Mr. British Team of the Year and Defensive Team of the Year, excuse me. That's a big one as well.
Well, we've talked all season about Ward-Hibbert. He's that guy where you got to watch and see. He's not a box score guy. You need to come see him play to really appreciate what he does, and it looks like the entire league did as he got voted those two awards you just alluded to.
Very well deserved. Such a competitor. That's one thing I've learned about him over the course of this season. He competes night in, night out, possession for possession. He wants to win more than anything.
Well, here's Pulliam again seeking out that mismatch. They get lost on it, leave Long wide open, and here's Seneca Knight again with the hustle, and what an effort. 6 on the clock, they have time. Ward-Hibbert looking to step back to the corner before the half, and that's how things will finish here in Newcastle, with the Eagles 41 and the London Lions 30. Sum up those first 20 minutes for us.
I mean, it's simple. The Lions came and they threw a first punch. They threw it, and they threw it heavy, but the Eagles threw a bigger punch, and they were able to respond and take consistent control of this second half. I mean, that last possession kind of speaks volumes to me. An offensive rebound to end the quarter. The Eagles just seem like they want it more right now, and they're more dialed in to win this game and get to the 0-2.
Well, Coach Bozic, I'm sure he'll be in contention for Coach of the Year, has his work cut out, but here's the stats to go along with your soliloquy, your breakdown. What jumps out at you?
I mean, what really jumps out to me is obviously the continuous shooting woes of the London Lions. Really and truly, they're currently 1 for 9 right now, with shooting 11% from the three-point line. And honestly, also just the free throws, they've missed 9 free throws to start the 8 free throws, excuse me. No, 9 free throws, I was correct. 9 free throws to start this game, and they're only down 11. That's the game right there, if you really want to be honest. So they have to be able to fight their way and claw their way back. And also remember that they already have a 6-point deficit to overcome.
Well, take a look at the highlights. I'm sure if you're on Twitter, Dan, Routledge is out there somewhere in the Twitterverse talking about deficits in history, and the historians out there. It doesn't seem as though it's in London's favor, but that's the beauty of sport, right? We've seen much crazier things happen.
Oh, much, much crazier. I mean, Just look at the Sheffield Sharks and Leicester Riders situation. Leicester being able to pull out a 20-point win just goes to show you things can change in a matter of a second. And in basketball, as we all know, is a momentous type of game. It is a game of runs. So will the Lions come out the second half with a run? It's yet to be discovered.
Well, we shall see. Until then, catch your breath and go get you a quick cuppa. But to make sure you get back, because you don't want to miss any of this action, because one of these teams in the next hour or so will be booking those golden tickets to the O2 Arena down in London on Sunday. Who will it be? Well, until then, enjoy our plays of the week, along with a feature of Aaron Ryan and Josh Ward-Hibbert.
A new dawn has risen in British hoops as Super League basketball has taken center stage. But this is about more than basketball. This is where legends rise and rivalries are written. Every game is a battle, every moment is electric, and every fan is a part of the journey. It's time to stand tall as the future unfolds and Super League basketball gets set to be bigger and better than anything we've seen before. New season, new stories, new champions to be crowned. From the opening tip to the final buzzer, every second counts. Every shot matters. Nothing is given, everything is earned. So who will rise, who will dominate, and who will make history?
A new dawn rises, where champions emerge and redefine the game, where limits are tested and greatness is unleashed. This is when legends are born. Super League basketball. A new dawn is here.
Basketball is the second most played sport by young people in the UK. And this is a great opportunity for us to engage the younger generation in being more sustainable, recycling more, and ultimately reducing waste and protecting the environment.
Away in the trash can, throwing this away in the trash can, you're doing it in the right place. You're composting, you're recycling, you're reducing, reusing. It's just super important to learn that from a young age because you carry that into your adult life.
I majored in marine science and I minored in sustainability. So it's actually really exciting to see us partner with a company who is really invested in sustainability.
I think it's fantastic. FIFA is such a quality name in the waste and sustainability sector. We're a quality name in our sector. They're very much about community. We're very much about community. So I think it's going to be a great partnership.
I think I've kind of had that mindset of just, taking everything year by year, seeing how I feel about, what I want to do next year, kind of my future plans each year, and, take that in stride. And I think that's helped a lot. It takes a lot of pressure off you, I would say, just because, you're not thinking too far ahead and you're just kind of enjoying the moment and then just letting that take you wherever it goes, and, you end up finding where you need to be regardless. Yeah, I went to Dartmouth College. It's a small school in New Hampshire. Really, really great time I had there. A lot of good friends I made. Yeah, my senior year at Dartmouth, I had a good year, and I decided, hey, it would be a cool opportunity maybe to play 1 or 2 years overseas and just kind of see how that goes. And I don't think I was ready to give the game up at the time, and then yeah, 1 year led to another, and here I am. Yeah, I was playing this summer in the CEBL, so I wasn't in a rush to sign anywhere, and just kind of evaluate my opportunities. And London seemed like it was going to be a good opportunity for now, and then for the future. Hopefully, the club has ambitions to return to European competition, and I'd love to see that in my career. I see that as another step up from where I was last year or this year. So I think that I have a lot more to show, and I think I can play a lot better than I am and I have in Cheshire right now. And I think that as a player, the the last thing you ever want to be doing is being satisfied with your performance, because I think that leads you to being complacent, and there's no room for growth then. So I think there's a lot more I can do, and I still have left to show. But it's been great that I've been able to have some sort of success, but I don't think that's anywhere near my ceiling, and I think that I've got a lot of growth left. I think that's what motivates me the most.
I started playing basketball when I was super young, probably 5, 6, 7 around them times. My older brother's 3 years older than me. He started playing, and I always looked up to him, so whatever he did, I wanted to do the same thing. So from the earliest days I can remember, he was going to his basketball practice, and I'd just be somewhere on the sides or somewhere just running around, running with a basketball, shooting with a basketball, just doing something. To be honest, it just kind of progressed from there. The more my brother played, the more I played. When I started getting a little bit older and I was able to cope a little bit more, I started to practice, just with his team, and it just kind of grew from there. So really and truly everything that basketball-wise is obviously thankful to my parents for taking my brother, but yes, everything's through him. I also played tennis when I was growing up, and really the same reason. My brother was playing when he was younger, and I was obviously there a lot of the time, so I picked it up too. So it's tennis. So I played a lot of tennis when I was growing up. I had some moderate success over the junior circuit. I ranked top 10 in the world. I played 4 junior Grand Slams. I won the Aussie doubles. Yeah, that'll be my claim to fame so far. I love the sport, and I think it's an amazing sport to be part of. Some parts of the sport, it's things I still miss to this day. Yeah, it wasn't the route that I guess God had installed for me, but some of the friends and some of the adventures and stories I've got from playing tennis are things that will stay with me for the rest of my life, and things that have molded me to be the person I am today, and probably wouldn't be the same basketball player I am without the tennis side. Representing my country and winning trophies, it's definitely been a blessing. It's been an amazing journey, and hopefully it's going to continue.
Timberlake will go for the jam himself this time. This ring is certainly getting a lot of reverberations.
It's a slam fest in this fourth quarter.
Steele, long line, trying to get it into Delicum, and Steele's going to try to make up for that. Not before Hansi Begovic throws it down. And just what I was saying, be careful time with the ball. Hansi Begovic steps in front and gets the fans back into it.
Eagles off to the races. James spins off of Irving, finishes with Del Pesh. Wow. Says this is my block party. Wow.
Austin backs in. They're going to have to go outside of Timberlake, and they're trying every effort. And you can go for the slam and go for the jam. It may not matter overall.
We have liftoff. Scott Grayson.
McGill, Clay, have that.
Throw around the hammer, big fella. What a play from Donovan Clay.
Walsh is absolutely volleyball spiked by the Leeds best shot blocker.
Charles Thompson enjoys those, doesn't he? More than anything else, you can just see. a good psychological advantage it would be for the home club if they can go out up on the aggregate.
As Mitchell swats the ball into the stands. DJ Mitchell, not in his house.
Back out to right. Uses it. Bean and attacks on Rick for the one-handed jab.
Unbelievable, it's a broken play, and it winds up in the hands of Ethan Wright, who just sort of pressed the ejection button.
Manchester doing a great job. Nice cross, and he drops Irving. Take a seat, young man.
Oh, that's going to be on the plays of the week.
Anderson says, Ricky, just go to the right. Anderson, I can do that too. My name is Jamel Anderson.
Jamel Anderson rises up. A new dawn rises, where champions emerge and redefine the game, where limits are tested and greatness is unleashed. This is when legends are born. Super League Basketball. A new dawn is here.
Welcome back to Newcastle. Virtue Motors Arena, specifically for the SLB semifinals playoffs. Newcastle Eagles with the 11-point lead, but look there. The Leicester Riders have gone and done it. Ryder up. They have done the impossible and overturned that. What a result.
I am shocked to see that. I mean, Sheffield honestly going into that game with a 10-point lead. I thought they had a great shot at making it to the O2, but Leicester Riders had different plans, and they're a different team at home in that arena, and congratulations to that entire organization. And we'll see you in O2, hopefully.
Well, let's turn our focus back to here. Christian James has been stellar off the bench.
Just phenomenal. I mean, he's come to play today. Obviously, Money Mike getting into foul trouble, but Christian James says, no need to worry. I'll answer the call. And he's also a big shot maker and a big shot taker there for the Eagles. Big second half in store for him.
13 points, sprinkled in with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Christian James, the Houston native, gets the start here in the second half. It looks like Coach Studel going for the juggler. Will the Lions respond? Aaron Ryan, quiet on the evening, 4 points to his name. Here's Dallaire looking to get his first 3 ball of the night and still comes up empty. And it's Pulliam who takes a hit to the face.
Yeah, it's a tough, hard box out there. Eagles come away with the possession as we see the London Lion woes just continue from the 3-point shot. A great shot in rhythm. You can say Dallaire shot that with confidence as he is the top scorer here this evening, but just unable to make it count.
Well, narrow that down for us, because the Lions are the best percentage 3-point shooting team in the league. Is it nerves? Is it the moment? Is it just a bad shooting night? Or is it the Eagles' defense?
I think it's a culmination of all those things. I think nerves play a lot of the factor, but this is the same team you saw Friday night. Also only make 3 threes on 3 for 20 that night. So it's tough. And they picked a bad time to not have their best shooting performance.
Eagles with their first possession of the half. Hadzabegovic gets the start. Was played out of the first half with those scores in small ball of the Newcastle Eagles. Here's Long. Steps around, takes the long step. Comes up short, though.
Yeah, that's a good look there by Cole Long. Unfortunately, wasn't able to come down with it, but
Brisker might have thought he would get the continuation foul, and Dallaire left all alone, and you're not going to get a better look than that.
Yeah, I mean, he started out this quarter with 2 great looks, as I can see the frustration building in his body language.
Well, here's Mike. Cha-ching!
Yeah, they're feeling it. They're feeling it as I see the woo come from Money Mike.
He says, let me show you how to do this, young fella.
And that takes this aggregate all the way up to 20 points.
Well, Peterson well short there. And those shots that we talked about, Ron, as it gets later in this game, you just mentioned down 20, they get tougher and tougher. Pulliam with the left hand.
That's so crafty there by Trey Pulliam, so crafty. And an immediate timeout as the Eagles are just, they're controlling this contest right now. The London Lions, unfortunately, have just not been able to hit any shot, and there's not much you can coach that up about. You can't really do much as a coach if your guys just aren't able to make the shots when necessary.
Well, the crowd here in Virtue, as I refer to the young people lingo, it's lit in here.
It is getting lit, and Money Mike just lit the flame to start this third quarter. Because wow, what a way to start. And Trey Pulliam just adding on to that. That's a crafty finish to use your offhand in that situation. And that takes the aggregate up to 21 points.
You mentioned about Bozic. I was going to ask you to get inside that huddle, but as you mentioned, they're getting open looks. They just not knocking them down.
Yeah, I mean, as you see, Hazabegovic get taken out of that lineup to put Tanner Stuckman in, hoping for some three-point success, as that's what he does best. Ooh, that rhymed. Might have to add that to the notes. Wow. But needless to say, you got to hope for some instant offense here to start this third quarter, because it's drying up here for the London Lions.
Well, speaking of drying, they got to get things going quick, fast, and in a hurry, because they only got 18 minutes to turn around a 22-point deficit. And the optics of the Newcastle Eagles, it looks as though the individual talent isn't slowing down anytime soon.
Not at all. They're just getting heated up. If you know the Eagles, their confidence is brewing right now.
Well, here's Stuckman, and that's more like it.
Yeah, that's what he does best. I mean, just alluded to it. He shoots the three ball well, so a good timeout and a good substitution to get him on the floor.
Well, that gives the Lions 2 for 12 from beyond the arc, and they're going to need a couple more of those if they're going to shift the balance here in Newcastle. Here's James getting into his bag, spins, shows the footwork, fouled.
That is, my goodness, that is so elite what he just did. Let's hope we get a replay of that, but the footwork was elite. The patience was on full display there by Christian James in his ability to draw that foul. Had Delaire here, took him to the post, pump fake, rip through, and no choice but to foul. That's going to be a nice little up and under finish.
Well, he maintained patience while Delaire ran out of patience defensively.
Yeah, and that kind of sums it up well.
Well, James heads to the free throw line again for trip number 5 and 6. All things firing on all cylinders for the Newcastle Eagles. James with 15 points of the night. Can the Lions answer back? Delaire, who's been the bright spot, hangs, but can't finish over 2 outstretched Eagles arms.
And for the Eagles to only have 7-man rotation, they are doing a fantastic job of defending without fouling. Only man that's in serious trouble right now is Micah Carter with 3, and he's found a way to get to the third quarter.
Well, to answer your earlier question, Bozic is pulling the trigger with Soko, and that will be an unsportsmanlike foul on on Ward Hibbert, excuse me. So, Aaron Rye, who's been quiet all afternoon, all series, only 5 points on Friday. Maybe this is the turning point.
Yeah, it's been a rough stretch there for Aaron Rye. Again, fantastic player. Also in the conversation, heavily in the conversation for the league MVP.
Well, talk about how the pressure changes, or is that a thing when you suit up for a organization like the London Lions, where you're expected to do this. Cheshire necessarily last year wasn't expected, but the London Lions, they demand excellence.
No, I agree. I think they definitely do. That's what their organization has been built upon. But I think that Aaron Wright has answered that call this season, in my opinion. I mean, he's the leading scorer of this group. He rebounds the ball at a high level, and he does all these things without forcing it. You never see him force it. So I think he's answered the call, but lately in these playoffs, it's been a bit of a struggle for him.
Well, here's Brisker looking to get his second three of the night, and London all of a sudden in the span of 2 minutes have hit more threes than they have all game.
Yeah, and just how quickly, again, we talked about it at halftime. It's going to be a game of runs.
Well, James blocked by Rye. And Christian James able to draw the foul. I must admit, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. We have to take another look.
Unless he caught him with the body, the block looked clean.
Unable to see from that angle with the body contact, but needless to say, Christian James is going to the free throw line to try to capture 18 points on the day for him. And he's the team high right now. Game high, excuse me.
Let's see another angle here. Take it from here. And yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Great call from the referees.
Yeah, he has like I gave him the free throw curse. Oh, here we go again with that. But back to what I was saying, he has a slower release, and I think people are underestimating that in the sense of they're not giving him time to finish his shot because it's the second time of the day that he's gone to the free throw line for 3 free throws.
Well, that's a great point because his shooting motion invites you in where it feels like you can block it, and a lot of times he's able to draw a foul on his jump shot.
Very true. I mean, again, his second time today, so he must be doing something right in some regards, and the defense has to adjust to that.
Well, it was looking as though the Lions were able to get off to the races after an Aaron Wright block, but instead, James is fouled, makes 2 for 3 from the line. Here's Stuckman. Brisker bottled up, nowhere to go. And again, the Newcastle Eagles defense, and here's Money Mike, wisely decides to slow things down as the clock is their friend. Pulliam matched up with Rye. Gives him the hezzy, and it's blocked by Aaron Wright, but unfortunately, that play sums up the evening for the Newcastle Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much more you can do there. Aaron Wright with a good deflection, but even more so, better finish by Trey Pulliam as he gets the layup to go.
Well, here's Peterson with his first bucket in a long while.
Yeah, I haven't seen him do much since the and one there early. I mean, he was the high man.
Great pass. And Ward Hibbert smokes it and also draws a foul. And for Ward Hibbert, that'll be his third. Yeah. And those are the little plays, Ron, that you can kind of put a little mark by because they are potential turning points.
They definitely are. That's one he definitely is going to want to have back. But again, you like the intent of the Eagles here. Obviously, the high traps from the London Lions that they're throwing is allowing for these easy, open opportunities that the Eagles are seeking.
Well, Brisker confused of the offense that the Lions are in. Here's Soko, 4 fouls. Rye trying to get into the teeth. Again, seeing the muscle of the Eagles. Peterson takes a fall, gets his own rebound. Soko, nice finish.
And that is Patton March through at its finest. He senses a little bit of momentum, and he did a fantastic job of it on Friday night as well. He will call that timeout.
Well, talk to me, Ron. For the London fans specifically, keep them engaged. There's a lot of time left. Is it possible for them to continue to eat into this lead? If so, how?
First off, you have to get stops. I don't think the Lions have been able to get stops. They're used to holding teams into the 60s and 70s, and the Eagles are on par for more than that at the current moment. if they continue on this rate, maybe a little off in that, don't mind me. But again, they have to get stops because aggregate score right now is the real issue that they have of concern.
I think if you're Bojic, you just have to fight for small wins, specifically the next 5 minutes. Can you win the next 5 minutes by 6 points, 8 points? You just want to put yourself in a position for the fourth quarter to be within striking distance.
That is true. And it's more than doable. Again, it's more than doable.
Well, there's your aggregate score right there. Currently it sits at 17. The Lions unable to eat into any of this in this third quarter as both teams tied at 11. Well, Micah Karu, usually the guy that's getting it done, but tonight, Ron, it's been about the others who have really stepped up tonight.
Yeah, and it's just been a multitude of that seven that has gotten the job done for the Eagles. As you see some pressure here from Peterson coming out of that timeout.
Here's Money Mike. I mean, wow, stop it, stop it.
That takes me back to Valentine's night when he hit that one to ice the game. That is a signature, seems like a signature move from Akaru.
Well, here's Stuckman. Again, knocks it down.
And that's much needed there if you're a Lions fan. But can you get a stop? That's the real question right now.
Well, here's James, who's had his day all afternoon and getting to what he loves best. Lions send a double. They defense scrambling, Seneca. And that's the stop that the doctor ordered. Brisker. Drops it off to Soko again. This time it's Peterson. Stuckman unable to get any leverage inside. Clock dying. Brisker with the runner. And the captain unable to finish it. Ball tipped around. Jump ball situation. Eagles ball.
Wow.
So after all of that, the Lions come up empty-handed.
They got the stop they needed. And again, like you said, you just want to continue to win minutes. Win the next 5 minutes. Let's take control. But you can't take control if you keep just trading baskets with the Eagles right now, because that's not the type of game that we're in.
It just feels as though the inability to just go on a mini run every time we think the tide is about to change, the Eagles answer back.
Or a timeout called by Coach Doodle.
Here's Long. Getting inside, dancing in the paint. Great defense by Rye. Clock at 4. Here's Pulliam. Shakes between two defenders. And you just need a couple more of those. That's fantastic defense by the Lions.
That is very true. As you see Tanner Stuckman walking back on defense, I think he's calling for a pistol set maybe.
I mean, how big would a 3-ball be not right now for the Lions? How timely would that be?
Huge right now. As far as momentum is concerned too, I think it'll give them some much needed confidence.
Well, they go inside as they have all evening with Soko, skips around to the left hand, and here we go.
We're gonna have ourselves a tight finish down the stretch here.
Will the Eagles have enough gas to hang on? Here's Pulliam, nice shovel pass toward Hibbert. And Stuckman better be careful there through the basketball. And I love that by the refs, not overreacting and calling a technical on that.
Yeah, I don't think a technical is warranted at all for that situation. I think that was just casual frustration for jumping a bit too early.
Well, here's the question I pose is, well, let's take a look here. Yeah, great pump fake there. Yeah, there's the, yeah, I mean, I've seen that call before. That's been called on me. But I'm in agreement with you and the referees that right now at this moment, we don't need that.
Yeah, I must say that ref must have had a bad vendetta against you there, because that is not warranted. I mean, some of the things that have already seen.
Well, I might have kicked it against the stand.
All right, that's wrong sport. And see, now you're talking, now we're teetering on the line there, Drew.
You gave me.
We're getting a little bit too close.
Well, you give me some of that truth serum. Well, here goes the Lions. Again, Soko. Again, misses the layup.
Wow, we're behind the back. A bit too much there from Makaru.
Well, Ovi's on a mission, and he gets the and one bucket as he flexes to the crowd.
Yeah, unable to get the first layup to go, but right place, right time for Ovi Soko. Picking up that steal and getting the and one. But can he make the free throw? We have not seen him make free throw here tonight.
Well, this will be Ovi's 4th attempt on the evening, 0 for 3 on the night. There's the coaching staff there for the Lions. And again, 0 for 4 for Ovi Soko, but more importantly, 8 for 19 for the Lions. 2:35 here in Virtue. Eagles with 1 foot in to the 0-2 as Pulliam tries to rise over Ovi. And again, the London Lions, quiet as kept, are starting to gobble up a couple of rebounds. Starting to gobble up a couple of stops, excuse me.
That is exactly true. But at this point, you have to convert these stops. These are big-time stops that can turn into a run if they can convert.
That is the million-dollar question. The Lions offense has been quiet all night. Can they answer? Well, here's Rye stepping through an army of men and turns it over. Every time Rye gets to the paint, he's met by bodies.
Yeah, and they've scouted that. They've played him more than enough times to know that he wants to get to the rim. I think Aaron Rye there has to shoot that three. I think it's a momentum play. If he hits that three, the London Lions could be in a much better situation.
I'm in agreement with you. You got to ride that momentum train. You got to let that fly, because all evening long, I don't think I've ever seen Rye guarded this greatly. Usually he's able to slither, step around, slow down the defense, and somehow get to the rim. We haven't seen that be the case here tonight.
Yeah, and it's been over the course of the 2 games as well. They have done a good job and done their homework.
Was Pulliam, gets his mismatch. Again, throwing a double, loses his footing. Jump ball situation. Bodies flying everywhere. And this is playoff basketball here, baby.
As Peterson's walking away with some blood on his face.
Blood on his eye.
Yeah, that goes to show you how much it means to both of these organizations.
And usually they say blood, sweat, and tears, but we mean that literally here, as Peterson walks away with an eye injury.
But I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, hopefully we can get another look at this. I think that was due to Ovi Soko. I think Ovi Soko's elbow.
Well, have you ever seen the muscles on Soko? You might need to check him for a concussion as well.
Yeah, he is a big guy.
Let's see here. It was so many arms swinging, it was hard to tell. From my angle, it looked like it might have been Pulliam. But all in all, it's no malicious.
And it seems as though was there a technical foul called there.
Well, there is on Pulliam as his numbers blinking, and here's Holloway, 89% on the season, blowing the hands, getting stretched out, has sat there all half. Calmly steps up and knocks down the first, the veteran. We talked about the impressive resume. Knocks down both, and the Lions are closer than they've ever been in a very long time.
Yeah, and they're starting to chip away, as you said, Drew. Slowly but surely. Again, this is a long basketball game ahead.
The question is Will the Eagles, you said the magnificent 7, but it's been 6. We haven't seen Will Neighbor in quite some time. Will there be anything left in the tank? Took a 7-man rotation down to London on Friday. When will the lactic acids begin to kick in?
Well, the fouls are starting to build up, so they have to be very cautious of that as the Lions are starting to go inside more and more.
Well, Brisker looking to attack the legs, and Rye blows a point-blank layup. Here's Ward Hibbert alone, steps around, and count the buckets. Wow, what a change of events.
Yeah, and you hate to see that if you're Aaron Rye, because that's an easy one that you like to have back, especially the way this game was starting to turn. But credit the Eagles for coming away with that loose ball and finishing that layup by Josh Ward Hibbert.
An absolute game changer. Rye hits that, the lead's down to 4, but instead, Ward Hibbert with an opportunity to push it to 9. And we talk about putting that asterisk on moments. Let's keep an eye on that moment. Still plenty of time, 1:30. And again, Pulliam picks up his 4th and will send one of the best free throw shooters in the league for 2 freebies.
And again, the Eagles' best player hasn't even been on the floor yet. I know we're showing Brisker getting to the free throw line here, but got Money Mike checking in right now for the Eagles, so that's something to be happy about. But Lions got to get these 2 free throws and a stop.
And Brisker, you talk about reliable, one of the most reliable players from the line this season, 5th, and 88% misses the first. And somewhere the London Lions fans who are at home just keep eyeing that free throw count. 10, 11 for 22 on the night. Will that be the difference? James dancing, spinning, Money Mike, midi, too strong. But again, Seneca Knight doing all the dirty work with no time left, and he's fouled by Soko, and that will be a good evening from the captain. Good night.
And that's just a bad foul there if you're Obi Soko. I mean, Seneca Knight, he's done it countless times over the course of this season, even more so in these playoffs. His ability to go and get an offensive rebound when it seems like there's nothing else happening for the Eagles has been just amazing. And he's able to come away with 2 free throws because of it.
Well, Obi Soko doing the walk of shame to the bench as the fans wave him goodbye. Will this be the last moment we see him this season as he cheers his troops on? But they would have to go the rest of this journey 11 minutes and 2 seconds without him.
As Seneca Knight knocks down the first free throw.
The Eagles lead 9. 15 on aggregate. Lions running out of time. They go inside to Dallaire, who started the game strong, but has been quiet, steps around, loses his footing as James pulled the chair again, as he did on Soko on Friday night.
Yeah, that's a very smart, intelligent move there. Not fouling, pulling the chair, being smart.
Seneca travels. Again, if you're the Eagles, you have to understand the coverage. Lions are throwing doubles at these post touches. You got to let the ball do the work, let it find the open man, and remain patient. Crowd chanting defense. Brisker directing the troops.
It just seems like confusion on the floor right now for the Lions. They're trying to get into a set, and they don't know what they're doing. They're just, as Brisker puts his hand on his head, as well as Stuckman Lots of confusion.
Well, I think you would sum up that possession in the evening, discombobulated.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect word.
Final 10 seconds. Here's Micah Karu. Again, they throw a double. Seneca running out of time. Finishes. And again, fouled. Another bad foul from the Lions.
Yeah, that's late shot clock as well. I mean, got the game clock running down all the way to 0.1 on the clock. The ability to draw that foul is key right there for Seneca, but got to be better for the Lions.
Well, Seneca, as you mentioned before, the Eagles' leading rebounder. And since he's been inserted back into this lineup a week ago, has really shown his worth. But that will do it after 30 minutes. Newcastle 61, London 51, 16 on aggregate. Crowd starting to feel it. 10 minutes away from a trip to the O2. Does the London Lions have one more push? Well, there's your stats there from the evening. Break it down for us.
It comes down to a few things. One, the will to win, and two, the free throw game. They've already missed more free throws than the total of this game, than the deficit of this game at the current state. And I mean, in a recipe to win road games, you have to limit turnovers and you have to hit your free throws. That's rule number 1 and 2. So Lions have a big steep hill battle. It's about a big battle uphill for the fourth quarter. But the game's not over. Long way to go. Long way to go.
Well, everything else is even, Steven. And again, the separator is the free throw line. 12 points specifically. As we shift over to the highlights from that quarter, Brisker finally able to open the floodgates. London knocking down 3 threes there in that quarter. But again, it was plays like that sometimes it's just meant to be, and it's starting to feel like it is for the Eagles.
Yeah, it really is. The way they've been able to play as a group, some things have just happened so luckily for this group, and it takes a bit of luck to win a championship. Everybody knows that, let alone make it there. So the Eagles have a lot to be happy about.
Well, now you won't see that man anymore this evening, Soko, as he fouled out moments ago. And here we go. Coach Studel already with a trophy in the cabinet. Lions already with a title in theirs. But both teams got their eyes on the Capitol, the beautiful O2 Arena. Speaking from a man of experience, that is the place you want to be. So we shall see. Here's Stuckman. Holloway. Again, nowhere to go. Nearly stolen, 4.5 on the shot clock.
The Eagles are doing so well at scrambling right now. They are hedging, getting out of these ball screens, in and out, having a help side defender show and go. It's great to see if you're an Eagles fan.
London got to make it happen quick. Holloway fading, flip it to the right hand, and there we go. Getting things started here in crunch time.
That's a great finish there by Holloway.
Slices the lead to 8. Here's Seneca again. And this is the difference, Ron. Both teams playing great team basketball, but the separator, the Eagles have get out of jail cards, guys that can create their own bucket. And we haven't seen anyone from the Lions team here tonight that could do the same.
That's very true.
Speaking of, Ward Hibbert, again, flipping it up high. Seneca Knight. Holloway. Lions in business. Great seal there by Hazabegovic. And Studel calls for time straight away.
Coach Studel there sensing that momentum a bit off for his Eagles, and a big timeout as the Lions faithful in the crowd there are coming to life now, trying to inspire their team.
Well, yes, they have traveled. The London Lions have brought some of the troops up north with them, and for the first time all evening, we see them on their feet.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a very doable game right now if you're a London Lions fan. You have to feel somewhat of excitement after seeing a couple early baskets go in and a couple stops to back them to start this fourth quarter, but time is not on their side. They have to go quick.
Well, speaking of time, if they're going to turn around this deficit, does this have to be the moment right now?
It does. It has to come sooner than later. At this point, you're down currently 12 points aggregate. You got to at least half that by the 4-minute mark to give yourself a real chance down the stretch. But I can see it from their sideline right now. All they're talking about is getting to stop, getting to stop, getting to stop. But with this Eagles group, it's an easier task, easier said than done. Harder.
So to sum it up, you can't focus on the deficit. You got to focus on one possession at a time. Starting now. Lions showing a little bit of pressure. Here's Seneca, steps around Rye, flips it up with the right hand, and that ain't gonna get it done.
Yeah, that's not it at all. But credit that finish. That's a big time finish there. Seneca Knight playing through some contact and being able to get his own shot off at the rim.
Here's Holloway, expecting the foul, doesn't get the whistle.
And on the other end, Drew, what's required of the Eagles right here in order to seal this game out?
Value every single possession. Get a great shot, a great look every time. Here's Money Mike, rises over Peterson.
Or eat clock while doing it. Take some time off that clock.
Well, Holloway again expecting the whistle, and I think the refs are sending a message. This is playoff basketball.
Yeah, that one right there, unfortunate for Holloway. Couldn't tell by my angle was blocked by some players, but seemed as though he just went a little bit too far on that baseline and got kind of trapped there.
Well, when he's getting a contact, he's expecting the whistle, so therefore he's throwing the ball at the rim to get the continuation. Refs not buying. Pulliam, 4 fouls. Eagles eating clock. Seneca matchup with Hazabegovic. Great defense by the big fella.
Big time stop there. Way to move your feet. Give your Hazabegovic.
Beautiful spin, but get that out of here, says Cole Long. Seneca runs into a line and a great foul by Peterson.
Great foul. I mean, he was nearly on the verge of picking that ball up, which would have put him to 2 free throws, as he seems to think that he was getting 2 free throws himself. I thought he picked his dribble up already and was in that motion, but refs had other decisions to make.
7:21 here in Newcastle, where the Eagles lead by 8, 14 on aggregate. Here's James, loses it. Brisker scoops it up. Here's Rye doing what he does best, out in transition, but Hazabegovic cleans up the dirty mess.
Big finish there. This game's starting to open up a little bit down the stretch.
Here's Ward Hibbert, defended greatly by Brisker. Seneca fouled by Peterson again. This time, I think there's no question about the continuation.
Definitely. And I got to give some credit to Seneca there for not settling for that 3. In certain moments, I think, certain moments during this season, he would have shot that 3-point shot, knowing the time and clock here, way to attack the rim and draw 2 free throws.
And Peterson just getting his hands in the cookie jar there and getting caught. reaching for the late night snack. 6:52 here.
Speaking of late night snack, you having a nice Sunday roast after this one? How are you treating yourself after this ball game?
That is a fantastic, that might be the best question of the night. And you just made my tummy just roar that much more by asking that. Well, Seneca misses the first. Misses both, but Cole Long able to gather things in. Here's Pulliam, gets Brisker in the air. Patient feet, Akaru steps around, chunks it up. Big time rebound by Rye. And Peterson straight to the cup. Lead down to 4. Pulliam somehow, some way, sneaks around the defense but blows the layup. Brisker looking to go for the punch.
The roof would have went off this building, unfortunately, if the Lions laid that one.
Well, here's Hazabegovic. Down to 2, excuse me. And this is the tricky part with aggregate, Ron, is that when you have a lead like this, let's take another look at the replay as Hazabegovic is starting to get his game going. As you start to play the score.
Yeah, would like to see Trey Pulliam be a little bit smarter there with that take. You're going inside with the trees, the clock, everything's on your side right there.
You keep looking at the clock, waiting for those numbers to shrink. But this is a game you have to go out and win.
Definitely. We're in for a treat.
There's Pulliam. Nearly stolen there by Holloway. James been quiet here in the second half. Cole Long unwinds. And another offensive rebound by the Eagles.
And the offensive rebounds in this second half are now starting to bite the London Lions in the butt, honestly, because that's a possession that I'm sure they wish they could have had back and get off to the races with.
Well, Brisker was asking to go see the monitor, as we've seen a couple times here tonight. The players got to put that on the Christmas wish list. We don't have that in the SLB. We have to trust the eye of the referee.
That rhymed. Yeah, you're on one right there. I like that, Drew.
Got to finish strong, Ron.
Add it to the Christmas.
Got to finish strong,
Let's
man.
repeat that. Add it to the Christmas list.
Well, Cole Long able to knock down both in the lead, goes back to 4. Crowd chanting defense.
A good switch there from the guards of the Eagles.
Peterson.
And that's even smart. That's a smart attack there by Peterson, knowing Trey Pulliam is on 4 fouls and wants to stay in this ball game.
Can the Eagles hold on as we enter the last 5 minutes? There's the difference here in the fourth quarter. The Lions eating into that lead, holding the Eagles to 4. And I asked that question earlier. Are you starting to see a little bit of fatigue kick in?
Yeah, you're seeing fatigue kick in from the Eagles, number one, but you're also seeing it kick in from the London Lions. They are putting a lot of energy right now to cut into this lead, which could play a part in the latter stages of this fourth, but same thing can go for the Eagles. It's been the same 6 pretty much the entire game.
Here's Long, travels, and they have answered the bell, Ron. You mentioned they needed to gobble up stops, and they have done more than that here in the fourth.
Yeah, they are winning this fourth quarter by a score of 12-4, 8 points. But more to be done. Let's see it. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty part of it.
Well, here's the biggest possession of the evening. Holloway. Peterson playing high with Hazabegovic, and he's fouled. And if you're gonna foul anyone, that would be your choice, as Hazabegovic, only 48% on the season. 0 for 2 on the night. you could just tell when the ball released his hand, he's feeling the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, these free throws for the London Lions today have been a big reason of why they're not able to take the lead as he misses 2.
Ball tipped around, and of course it's Seneca Knight.
Yeah, he has a knack for getting those rebounds, doesn't he?
9 rebounds on the evening for Seneca. 4:30 here. Eagles up by 2. 8 on aggregate. Pulliam. And if you're the Lions, you want to be careful with that double because that's Cole Long's spot there at the top of the key.
That's definitely true. I'm looking now. I think that sends the Eagles to the free throw line for the last 4 minutes as well. So with that added pressure that the Lions have put on defensively, they have now rewarded the Eagles with 2 free throws for the rest of the game.
Do you think a double is necessary at this point?
I mean, no. It's been their game plan the whole day. So, I mean, you have to stick to what you've been doing. You don't want to change the scout on the fly, especially with this Eagles team. They'll make you pay for that. So they came into this game with that as their strategy to trap those ball screens, and the Eagles have made them pay.
Well, why? Why can't you adjust that in game?
Well, first of all, another offensive rebound, which leads to another possession here for the Eagles.
Well, Eagles with another bite at the apple again, sends the double, and that is why. Turns it over.
Yeah, you're going to have those moments, especially.
Here's Rye tiptoeing his way to the lane. Extra pass. Holloway, biggest shot of the night, and he buries it.
It's a big-time 3 there by Holloway.
And buckle up your seatbelts.
We're back level.
66 all here in Newcastle, 6-point aggregate. Here's Cole Long looking to answer back. Another offensive rebound, this time to James. Tries to step through over Rye.
And the offensive rebounds, it's the offensive rebounds for the Eagles and the missed free throws from the Lions. That is what it's coming in, what it's coming down to late. Big shot there by Holloway, though, to get this game back level. But man, another opportunity to get a stop for the Lions, and just the inability to capitalize.
Well, Newcastle, 11 offensive rebounds here tonight as Christian James knocks down the first for his 18th point. Eagles up by 8. Again, a capacity crowd here, Virtue. Chanting defense is Holloway over the top, has a Begovic. Extra pass, ball moving around for the Lions. Holloway looking for the foul. No, has a Begovic again, stripped by Knight. Referees talk it over, but I believe we'll stay here unless it went off his knee. And we will stay here. Studel doing his best defensive job there in front of the judge to win the ball, but it's only one. Here's Stuckman. Too easy.
Very, very, very easy. And again, we're back level down the stretch through. Couldn't have asked for a better ball game.
This is, we talked about the tightness of this league all season. And it comes down to this as the London Lions are in business with a chance to eat into the aggregate now. Rye again, but has a Begovic with his second cleanup of the fourth.
Big time, big time. Staying with it right now, the London Lions are, and just finding a way to make this about a ball game. Down 4 on aggregate, they're down 16. Even more so at some points in this game.
Has a Begovic who was played out of this game earlier, but really has paid dividends in the fourth, really flexing that 6'10" frame as he flushes it through. And if I can speak for every fan in this building, Ron. Uh-oh.
You can feel it. You can feel it. We said it a multitude of times on this broadcast. It is a game of runs, and we're seeing one put on right now by the Lions. The Eagles, unfortunately, are losing this quarter by 12 points, 19-7. And I think they just got to just take a breath. Take a breath. The nerves are starting to seep in a little bit. You can see it.
I see some fingernail clippings here on the floor as the fans are beginning to bite them. Great job there, producer. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Holloway showing his veteran leadership there in the London Lions huddle. Bozic, we talked about the great job he's done this season. The London Lions has risen from the grave and are in position to do the unthinkable. Here's Long. Pulliam slices, blocked by Hazabegovic.
That is a big-time protection. And the Lions are off right now. A bucket here will be huge as we approach the 2-minute mark.
Holloway gets the mismatch. Playing boomerang, looking to go inside to the big fella. 6 on the clock, gets a step on Long, fades to the corner. James able to gobble it up.
It's a big rebound by Christian James down there battling.
Pulliam, Ward Hibbert, big time finish.
The stop and go of Trey Pulliam there paid dividends. Holloway didn't think he was going to turn the Jets on, and he did it at the perfect time.
Ward Hibbert showing the emotion of the moment. A trip down south on the line to the London O2 Arena. There's that step by you mentioned by Pulliam, but this is what this game is about right there, Ron.
Wow. I said it, he's such a competitor. It means the world to him to get this team to the O2. We saw the snippet released by the SLB on the social medias. We're up 6 going to our home court, said Josh Ward Hibbert. But we have more work to be done. And I'm sure that these last minute and 56 seconds will show that if they can come away with a win.
And Pulliam, time after time, and they're loving that in Newcastle. Beat your drum, Les. Well, speaking of work to do, the London Lions, 156, down 6. We got what we asked for. They got the game tied, job done. Now the next gig, you gotta overcome the deficit of Friday night.
More work to be done then. One box has been ticked off, like you said, correct. But my question to you is, will that fatigue of that uphill battle from the start of this game and after the course of this game come to bite the Lions right now?
Well, I think this is where the depth comes into play. This is why you go and build a deep roster for moments like this. So tiredness can't be in the question book. Here we go. Brisker looking to force feed Hazabegovic, and it's tipped away by Ward Hibbert.
Who else? Who else will answer the call on defense other than that guy? That is a big-time steal.
Pulliam looking to go one-on-one with Brisker. Finds Money Mike, looking to cash in. No.
They dodged a bullet there. Wow.
Here's Peterson. Brisker. Not left any airspace again. London Lions searching, hunting, fouls, and not getting them.
Yeah, Brisker has done that 3 times already.
And that split will send Pulliam to the free throw line
to possibly ice this game right now.
And that's a 5th foul on Peterson.
intelligent, crafty. What a move, what a play. Over and over again, Trey Pulliam has stepped up, especially in these playoffs. Didn't have the best game Friday night, but came away from that game with 4 steals. Showed himself in Manchester as well.
But more importantly, reliable from the free throw line all season long, 85%. And what a signing by Mark Studel. Searching for their point guard all season long. 3rd time lucky with Pulliam as the Lions call for time. And you can hear that crowd. Sounds as though they're ready to party in here.
It does, it does. It's a nice day out. Newcastle United got the win over Chelsea earlier. You gotta love it. As we take a look at the numbers here, Christian James, top of the charts for the Eagles, 19 points, followed by Trey Pulliam, 14, and Joshua Hibbert with a nice, loud 12. On the London Lions side, we have Mr. Dallaire with 12, Brisker and Hazabegovic both on 10. But points don't matter at this point. Statistics don't matter to say. It's just all about who can get the job done.
Well, we've seen it this season from the Cheshire Phoenix, being able to overcome huge deficits under a minute. This time, can the London Lions answer the call? Well, they got their work cut out because they have to do it with 2,800 Geordies stood on top of them.
And it's getting loud in here.
Let's see what coach is drawing up. They go inside to Stuckman. Pressured by Long. Frees up Brisker from the top of the key. Tipped around, and guess who it is?
Joshua Hibbert.
Lions in foul mode, got a foul.
And that's the guy you don't want to foul.
And that is not the time that you want to foul with 10 seconds left on the clock.
Eagles did a fantastic job of there playing keep away.
.9 seconds. Ward Hibbert, who's been the voice for the Eagles this season. That one rattles out.
That was a crazy one. It's like a pinball.
Finishes the second. London in must-score mode here, down 9. Stuckman with a chance to eat into it. Again, no. Money Mike on the races with Seneca coming down, flips it, backhand.
And it looks like that will do it. The smiles are starting to happen as Cole Long almost gets the steal. And it's time to party, it seems like, here in Virtu Motors Arena.
The Newcastle Eagles are 20 seconds away from cracking open the cold ones, but Holloway says not yet. Hold that beer as Rye fouls James. Eagles up 3 here tonight, 9 aggregate. Christian James with a chance to put the stamp on the letterhead and mail it to the O2.
And I think, unfortunately, Aaron Rye's now fouled out there with his 5th foul. Just want to give a shout out to him always. Great guy, fantastic season. But unfortunately, it just wasn't his series this go around.
Well, we got to have that talk, that elephant in the room, the MVP talk. Plenty of suspects there. 19-7, 20-7 from James as he knocks down that one. Cole Long, 7, 11 rebounds. Micah Karu quiet, under his usual standards, 10 points. But Trey Pulliam, 14 and 13 dimes and 6 rebounds.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Sounds like I answered your question.
Yeah, you kind of have. I was leaning towards Christian until you said the assist, you know.
Let's not forget about Seneca Knight, 12 points, 9 big-time rebounds off the bench.
Huge rebounds as well. I think we're going to go with Trey Pulliam as our MVP today. Christian James obviously came to play as he does.
Finally able to get one to go, but it's too little, too late, and Micah Karu will dribble it out, and that will do it, ladies and gentlemen, as the Newcastle Eagles have punched their ticket to the London O2 Arena.
What a win there by the Eagles. Over these 2 legs, they've played their hearts out, and they have a trip to the O2 Arena to show for it.
What an amazing performance here by the home team. Fans letting them hear it. Mark Studel having wise words to the London point guard. Well, that will wrap up the London Lions season. And there it is. Look at that. Look at that. And if you need me to describe this place, it is absolutely rocking. The emotion. Paul Blake, Sam Blake. The captain, Darius Defoe, gets him some love. And this is why we play the game. For these moments right here. Commiserations to the London Lions in the fantastic season that they had as league champs. But tonight, it's about that team right there, the Men in Black. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have the tickets punched for the O2 Arena. It will be Leicester Riders. Well, there you have it. Get your tickets ASAP as we revisit that moment with Mark Studel as he shows his appreciation for the crowd who showed their support all season long. And now they have a reason to head to London on Sunday. Just like old times, a new regime here in the Super League basketball, but some things remain the same. Leicester Riders versus Newcastle Eagles. How many times have we seen that song and dance? Go to the website right now, get your tickets. You don't want to miss that in person. But if you're unable to make the trip down, make sure you get locked in on DAZN, as we will be able to show you the women's and men's finals. Oakland Wolves versus the Sheffield Hatters in a rematch of the Cup competition. And for the men, we get some fresh blood as the Leicester Riders joins the dance of the Sheffield Sharks and the Bristol Flyers as they get a taste of a final. Josh Ward Hibbert. What a season he has had. Wow.
Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check.
I need to take a deep breath here. What an atmosphere, what an environment, what a league.
All right, I'm here.
Enough from me. Let's hear from the MVP as Trey Pulliam is down with Ron.
I'm here with Trey Pulliam. Trey, first off, congratulations on making it to the O2. Trey, since your arrival, you've helped change this team, your drive, the way you've played down the stretch. Walk us through how it feels to make it to the O2.
I mean, it feels amazing, especially everything we've been through from EMBL since I came here, EMBL, to injuries, to everything. We've been through a lot of adversity, so, you know what I'm saying, we deserve it.
Like you said, a lot of adversity. You've already been to 2 finals. What is it going to take to come away with a win in this final?
I mean, another run like we've been making right now the past 4 games, high energy, playing together. Really, like I said, the adversity we've been through has been bringing us together, so just it's a perfect time to move on with that. So,
well, I'm going to let you celebrate. Congratulations again. No problem, man. As we have Coach Stu and his son come and join us now. First off, Coach, congratulations. What a win. What a series. Talk about your emotions right now.
What's our emotions right now?
I'm buzzing.
Yeah, I'm buzzing. I couldn't say it better myself. I want our fans to enjoy that. We know the job's not done. We know we have one more game. But for our fans to have a day like that and an atmosphere like that in here, really special.
Really special. And again, a big-time performance today. A big matchup on Sunday against the Leicester Riders. Yeah, Leicester Riders won by 20 today. But needless to say, what is it going to take from this group to come away with a win in the O2 next Sunday?
Health first. We got to get healthy. The guys have left everything they had out there. I thought they were exhausted. Got to get healthy. Regroup. Leicester a tough team to face. 40 minutes, we're excited to see what can happen.
Well, you guys are battle tested. I'm sure you'll do great. Congratulations again, Coach. Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Well, there you have it. What a moment. Mark Studel with his son Oliver there as he takes one more 94-foot lap of Virtue Motors Arena, and that was the play of the day right there. That's what really got the fans on their feet. But what an environment here in Newcastle. I've watched many games here, been a part of, watched, commentated, but nothing better than that. Well, that sums up our weekend here in the SLB. Leicester Riders doing the impossible, overturning the 10-point deficit tonight at home. And your Newcastle Eagles here taking care of business against London to book their ticket. Well, that will wrap things up here in Newcastle. Again, Leicester Riders versus Newcastle Eagles. From myself, Ron, our production team, thank you this season, but we will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.
A new dawn has risen in British hoops as Super League basketball has taken center stage. But this is about more than basketball. This is where legends rise and rivalries are written. Every game is a battle, every moment is electric, and every fan is a part of the journey. It's time to stand tall as the future unfolds and Super League basketball gets set to be bigger and better than anything we've seen before. New season, new stories, new champions to be crowned. From the opening tip to the final buzzer, every second counts. Every shot matters. Nothing is given, everything is earned. So who will rise? Who will dominate? And who will make history?
A new dawn rises, where champions emerge and redefine the game, where limits are tested and greatness is unleashed. This is when legends are born. Super League Basketball. A new dawn is here.